Are you tired of fixing automation bots that break every time the real world gets messy? The old way of rigid, brittle flowcharts just can't keep up. But a massive paradigm shift is finally here. We are moving from programming dumb robots to briefing reasoning machines. Welcome to the rise of autonomous agents. In this complete course, we will show you how to build adaptive digital colleagues, agents that can use knowledge, wield tools, and make decisions on their own to achieve goals. Stop just automating tasks. Start building your digital workforce. Don't miss a step of this journey. Watch the full course now.
Welcome to the major paradigm shift happening in automation right now. Historically, we've relied on traditional, rigid workflows. Think of this like programming a robot or giving an intern a strict checklist. If event A happens, do action B. This is perfect for predictable, structured tasks, but it has a major limitation. It cannot think or reason. If an unexpected input occurs, the process fails. The problem is, the real world is messy. Ambiguous emails, weirdly formatted invoices, and gray area policies don't fit neat flowcharts, causing traditional automation to break down. This is why we are moving toward autonomous agents. This is dynamic. Instead of an intern with a checklist, imagine an experienced executive assistant. You provide them with the necessary knowledge, the right tools, and a clear goal. The agent then reasons at runtime, adapting to the context to navigate obstacles independently. This is the fundamental shift, moving from telling computers how to take specific steps to telling them what the ultimate goal is. You are no longer programming a robot. You are briefing a digital colleague, using generative AI to determine the best way to get the job done.
Not every job needs an autonomous agent. The secret to business success is knowing the difference between traditional automation and these new digital colleagues. Stick to traditional workflows if your process is rigid. If it runs exactly the same way every time based on structured data, like a predictable flowchart with no ambiguous decision points, an agent is overkill. You want predictable logic for predictable tasks. Instead, employ autonomous agents for your messy processes. These are tasks that usually need a human to step in, research, and make a judgment call. They handle unstructured variable inputs, like natural language emails or vague requests that require interpretation. Agents don't just move data from A to B. They reason over it to make decisions, gather information from multiple systems, and create tailored outputs. Whether it's handling unique customer complaints, reviewing complex invoices, or monitoring sales pipelines, if the task requires interpretation and adaptation, it's a candidate for an autonomous agent. Building a digital worker is remarkably similar to onboarding a new human employee. To set them up for success, you need to establish 4 key pillars. First, provide knowledge, which acts as their library. You upload company policies and procedures, but you must label them clearly with descriptive names. This ensures the AI knows exactly which document to pull off the shelf when it needs to reason through a problem. Next, give them tools. These are the agent's hands, allowing them to interact with the outside digital world, sending emails, updating spreadsheets, or connecting to APIs. Third, write the instructions, which serve as the job description. Forget rigid programming. Use natural language to define the high-level intent, guardrails, and desired outcome. Tell the agent what to do, and let its reasoning capabilities figure out how. Finally, set the trigger. This is the wake-up call, like a specific time of day or a new incoming form that acts as the starting pistol for the agent to begin working. Let's look at a real-world case study, building an autonomous agent for expense claims. Before automation, this process is a manual nightmare. A manager has to open every report, cross-reference it with a 50-page policy PDF, decide on approval, email the employee, and update a spreadsheet. It's tedious, slow, and error-prone. Here's how we build an agent to take over. First, we give it knowledge, access to the expense and travel policies, the rules of the road. Second, we give it tools, the ability to send Outlook emails and update SharePoint lists. Third, we write the instructions, telling the agent its job is to review claims, reason over the policy, make a decision to approve or reject, and then communicate that decision. Finally, we set the trigger. Wake up whenever a new item appears in the inbox. Now watch it in action. An employee submits a $550 claim for a travel adapter. The agent wakes up, reads the policy, and reasons that this is a personal expense. It decides to reject the claim, drafts a professional email explaining why, sends it, and updates the status. The entire process is autonomous, meeting the high-level goals without any human intervention.
What happens when business rules aren't clear? We ask the key question regarding real-world ambiguity. Consider an expense claim for a $550 travel adapter purchased only because lost airline luggage threatened a critical client presentation. A standard literal AI model just looks at the policy rule. No personal items. It ignores the desperate context and makes a quick, rigid decision. Rejected. However, when you enable the deep reasoning toggle, the agent changes. It takes the time to be nuanced and thorough. It analyzes the input against the spirit of the policy, not just the letter. Through a deeper chain of thought, it recognizes a business emergency versus a simple purchase. Instead of a blind rejection, it provides a nuanced decision, recommending approval or flagging it for a manager with the necessary context. This ability to think through complexity is what truly separates autonomous agents from rigid automation. Building autonomous agents requires adopting a new mindset for success. We have outlined 4 crucial best practices to help you move forward effectively. First, clarity is king. Your instructions must be structured and precise. Just like a human employee, if you give an AI ambiguous instructions, you will get ambiguous results. Second, scope matters. Don't try to build a single godlike agent to do everything. Instead, design specialized subject matter experts, like dedicated expenses or IT agents that can eventually communicate with one another. Third, don't abandon deterministic logic entirely. For rigid tasks like exact compliance checks, build traditional fixed workflows and package them as tools. The agent then decides when to use that tool. Finally, you must monitor and iterate. Don't turn an agent loose on day one. Start by having humans review its recommendations, analyze its step-by-step thought process in the activity tabs, and fine-tune your instructions based on what you learn. We have shifted away from rigid workflows that break when faced with the unexpected. Instead, we are building autonomous agents, our new digital colleagues. You build them on 4 key pillars, giving them knowledge to reason, tools to act, clear instructions on intent, and a trigger to wake them up. Keep instructions clear, scope them as experts, use rigid tools when necessary, and always monitor and iterate.